For the 2025 model year, Honda has decided to give us a couple of updates for the Honda Civic FE. And in this video, let's take a look at this mid-range Honda Civic RS 1.5 Turbo and see what it has to offer in terms of number one, updates, and number two, let's also see if it is still a good purchase in 2025. Before anything else, we should talk about the updates that Honda has given the Honda Civic RS 1.5 Turbo. Well, there's only a couple of things and I'll run you through them now. So first of all, here at the front bumper design has been changed. It's a little bit more sporty, a little bit more Type R-y. Over there at the rear, you also get a new set of tail lamps, and inside the vehicle too, you do get Google Assistant now, as well as Google Maps as standard. So yeah, that aside, the exterior of this vehicle looks exactly the same as before. You still do get a very sleek looking silhouette, and this really proves as to why it was a good idea for Honda to truly kill off the Honda Accord here in the Philippines, and that's because this one has really grown up so much. If before it's just sporty, now it looks pretty executive too. In the front, I mean, this entire thing, yeah, you may have a very sporty looking RS grille and even sporty headlamps, but doesn't it also give off a vibe that just tells you, hey, this car is no longer just for a college kid. The Civic is no longer just for a college kid. The FE Civic is now a car for grown-ups too. Anyway, now moving over here at the side, you see more of that sleek silhouette right here. This nice slightly sloping roofline. Because it is an RS trim, you do get like blacked out wing mirror caps as well as blacked out door handles, and you still do maintain the blacked out set of rims, 18 inches big, and wrapped in the one of the best set of tires that you can get for a stock car, Michelin Pilot Sport 4s. So if Honda didn't change that much when it comes to the exterior and the interior, did they change anything when it comes to your powertrain? Well, no as well. What you still have here is the same 1.5-liter turbocharged gasoline engine making 178 horsepower and 240 Newton meters of torque, mated to a CVT. Well, the good news here is that this powertrain had always been pretty good, and also pretty good in terms of fuel economy, because you're going to return around 7.8 kilometers per liter in heavy city traffic and about 17 kilometers per liter on the highway. So moving inside the Honda Civic RS, first you check the door. That's about okay, not bad. So inside here, there truly isn't that much changes. In fact, there is no changes except for the aforementioned Google Assistant and the built-in Google Maps that you find in this 9-inch touchscreen. As with before though, it still is incredibly responsive, and it also comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is wired for that second one. While good, unfortunately what I don't like about it is the resolution of the reverse camera, because not only is it not clear, well, you know, in 2025 we'd be expecting like 360-degree view cameras and all that, but yeah, that we don't have that here. Anyway, that aside, you still do get the same 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster, which is again very easy to read, very sporty looking. You can also see your drive modes right here, including economy mode, normal mode, and sport mode. You still do get a very nice leather wrap steering wheel with red stitching because it is an RS trim. You get paddle shifters, you get buttons for your advanced driver assistance systems, and you get pretty good materials all around. Talk about this dashboard, which comes with nice soft touch padding, the side of the doors too, and even the seats, which is a mix of leather and some sort of suede, also with red stitching. You get power adjustments for the driver's side. Unfortunately, for the passenger side, that is only manually adjustable. What I really love about this vehicle ever since it first came out was these like honeycomb patterns on air vents. They look really nice, and they just give off a very unique touch to the vehicle. You still do get your dual zone climate control, a wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders, an electronic parking brake, and an auto hold function. For your advanced driver assistance systems, you do get the whole suite of Honda sensing, including your adaptive cruise control, your lane keeping assist, your lane departure warning, and your autonomous emergency braking. Now for the rear seats, we also check the door. Sounds pretty good. So back here, this is again one of the reasons why I think Honda truly killed off the Accord, because there just is no point for the Accord anymore. Legroom is amazing, so is headroom, and even the width of the vehicle, it's a lot wider compared to like older Civics. So yeah, you can seat like 3 people back here without much issues, as long as you know it's not a very long drive, that is. Aside from that, you still do get your 2 air vents right here, so it really doesn't get toasty, and you also get 2 USB-C ports, so it really is complete. You really do not need an Accord. Now, those aside, you do also get this center armrest with 2 cup holders and a quarter window for extra light. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier, which I really love about the Honda Civic, is that it does come with a 12-speaker Bose sound system. And while it doesn't sound sound as good as the system you get in the Honda CR-V RS EHEV, the hybrid CR-V, it still sounds pretty damn amazing. So now we drive the 2025 Honda Civic RS 1.5 Turbo, and surprise, surprise, it drives exactly the same as the previous Honda Civic RS which we drove because, well, Honda didn't really change anything right here when it comes to the powertrain, when it comes to the suspension. As with before, you still get tons of power in here, and 178 horsepower really isn't that little, and you feel a lot of the power at around midway through your rev range, and then you get an extra surge of power towards the top end of your rev range. Again, it's not the same as the very old VTEC engines wherein you get a huge surge of power at the top, but you still do get some of it, which is a very good feeling. In terms of handling, it's so much better. It's probably one of the best in its class. And if you compare it to, let's say, its main competitor, the Toyota Corolla Altis, of course, the Civic had always been the much better driving vehicle. But the trade-off for that, of course, would also be the fact that, you know, it rides a little bit stiffer. But don't fret, because while it rides a little bit stiffer, it's still pretty comfortable overall. And speaking of comfort too, sorry, I had to look there. Speaking of comfort too, it's so much quieter now compared to the older Civics, and I don't mean the pre-minor model change. I mean like the previous generation Civic, where in that vehicle around 50 or 60 kilometers per hour, so it tends to get really loud. For this one, it still isn't that quiet, honestly, but you get a lot of the noise only if you're on pretty rough road conditions and if you're already traveling at 70 or 80 kilometers per hour. Now that aside, you have pretty sharp steering right here. Even though this is about the size of an Accord, it doesn't really boat about to when you take it to corners. It just is a very good, sporty handling executive sedan is the best way to describe it. And also, when you are going at highway speeds right here, it tracks really well. I really love how it just goes down the highway really smooth. It goes down the highway really planted. It's very stable. And the advanced driver assistance systems that you get in here, care of your Honda Sensing Suite, is also really nice to use. It's not very jerky, and yeah, it's something that you can really rely on your day-to-day drives, and especially when you take it out on your longer trips. While not exactly the most technologically advanced, nor the newest, nor the quietest vehicle in its class, the 2025 Honda Civic in this 1.5 Turbo RS trim is still a very good vehicle even in 2025. However, we do have to talk about its pricing, because this vehicle right here in this exact spec costs 1,790,000 pesos, which in today's world is a little bit steep, especially considering that it is a sedan. And you know how people nowadays, they really do want to go for crossovers now. However, if you're truly looking for a very sleek and yet sporty family vehicle, then yes, by all means, the 2025 Honda Civic RS 1.5 Turbo is still a very good car to consider. And just in case you want one with a coding exemption clause in, you know, your buyer's agreement, well, there is also a hybrid option that doesn't cost that much more.